Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going over my purchases and empties for November. So everything that I finished up last month, as well as everything that I purchased, just keeping myself accountable for what's coming in and out of my collection. So if that all sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get into it. All right, this might be a little bit of a longer video because I do have quite a few purchases to show you as well as quite a few empties. So there's no time to waste. Let's just get started. I like to separate this video into 3 different parts. So there will be timestamps linked down below. But the first part are purchases that came to me that I didn't necessarily purchase in the month of November. I do a lot of online shopping. So sometimes I order things in October, they don't get to me until November. So I like to talk about them a little bit separate rather than talking about them in the month that I actually physically ordered them and having to throw up a photo or something. This month, I have quite a few things in this category because my mom just came back from her visit to the States and she brought all the things that I've kind of been purchasing for the last couple of months. I think the last time she was there was around April. So there's a few things from those past couple of months that I had ordered and she brought back to me. Sometimes I do that. I ship things to my family members that live in the States, and that's mainly just because it costs me a little bit less. There's always been customs, duties, and taxes that people in Europe have to pay. I know America's kind of starting to get used to that, or whatever the situation is. I don't know anymore, but you always have to do that. So for example, a palette that might cost $30 could, by the time I pay for the actual palette, pay for the shipping, and then pay for the taxes and customs on top of it, I might be paying $60 for that palette. It can be almost double because shipping internationally is also expensive. I'd rather buy 2 palettes, send it to family members, and just wait for them to come to me when they can get to me. I think that explains it enough. So I have quite a few things, not actually a lot of purchases, only 3 purchases. Let's start with the first thing that was kind of decluttered to me. This is the Sigma Cool Neutrals. I got this from a friend. So I'm including it in this because I like to just be transparent about what's coming in and out of my collection. This was kind of a palette that I had on the back of my mind, low priority on my wish list. And so my friend had her used one and she decluttered it to me. So I'm excited to try this out. We'll see what I think of it. I know not everyone loved this palette, but I kind of was interested in it and I loved the geode theme in the front. So glad that I have it. And then the rest of the things, I made 3 separate purchases, but one of them was quite large, my Unearthly order. So let's go over it. Unearthly does a lot of 40% off sales. And when they do, I tend to be a little bit, I have a collectionist mindset with Unearthly. I'm trying very hard to break that. But sometimes when they do their 40% off sales, it's hard to just not throw an extra palette in your cart. One of these specifically, I know I shouldn't have gotten, but the other ones, a lot of these were kind of on my wish list for a while. I just didn't want to pay full price for them. So I made this order back in June. It was quite a long time ago, and I finally have it in my hands. So let's start the first one, which is the Shadow Sculpt. I think this was their spring launch. They came out with a spring mystery palette, and it was this one. So take all these little things off. Here's what this one looks like. Off of first glance, seeing it in person, it kind of reminds me of the Adept Flying Fiddles palette. I don't know if it's this marble shade here, but I did pick this up. I didn't pick up the actual mystery bundle. I usually never do. And I just pick up the palette. I do want to pick up their 2 new ones for winter, but I'm waiting until some kind of sale or something like that. Also picked up the Thinking of You palette. This is the one that I shouldn't have purchased. It wasn't like a color story that screamed to me, but I want to say that even full price, this palette was a little bit less expensive. So with the 40% off, I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. But not really my color story, so to say. Like, it does have some neutrals. It has some pretty shimmers. It's mainly these two that I'm not super in love with. But like I said, I can be a little bit of a collectionist, trying to break that, but I can't harp on myself for a June purchase. I've grown and changed so much since then. If it was now, like, I wouldn't have purchased this palette, but the damage is done. Next up, I have the Night Terror palette. This was, I think, a mystery box last winter, and I was so close to buying that after the palette was revealed because I love purples, and this just looked like such a pretty purple palette, but I didn't want to spend the money just for the palette. Nothing else in the box really interested me at all, so I really had to talk myself out of paying like the $100 just for a 9-pan palette. And then finally, she released this as just the palette separately. So I jumped on that and got 40% off on it. So I'm very happy about that. I really, really wanted this palette. Like I said, it was one that I was considering purchasing the entire bundle, even though I knew I wouldn't have gotten use out of the rest of those items just for this palette. So that makes me very, very happy. Probably one that I'm more excited about. Number 2, this is the one that I'm most excited about. This is the Shadowed Petal palette. I kind of like these 9 pans from Unearthly. I mean, I haven't tried any of them yet, but I like the size of them. And this one is just those rich romantic tones up my alley. I love that there's like a range of light, mid, and deep. It's not too deep and sultry. It kind of is reminding me of the Beauty Bay Reckless Romance palette just a little bit. And that palette I ended up decluttering because it was just too dark for me, like this dark gothic theme. And this has a little bit of everything. I think this is really well done. This is the one that I am most excited to try. It'll be probably the first one that I try. And then the very last palette from that order was the companion palette. This was the Murky Meadow. And I hemmed and hawed about this one because this one, for being a 9-pan, was significantly more expensive than the Shadowed Petal or the other like Thinking of You palette. I don't know why that is, but it just was. But this has like all those murky greens and stuff like that. And I also was kind of hemming and hawing about it because is it too similar to Sorceress Smoke? I feel like this is a little bit of a condensed version of Sorceress Smoke, but we'll just have to wait and see. I have been these past couple of months working on all of my Unearthly palettes and trying to finish them no pan left behind. So that way I can rank that brand once I finish them because I have quite a few Unearthly palettes now. I had, I think, like 8 or so. So I'm definitely in double digits with my Unearthly palettes. So once I finish these all no pan left behind, I plan on coming back with a ranking and ranking them all. So when I do that video, I'll be able to tell you how close this is to the Sorceress Smoke, but it does kind of look similar. We'll just have to wait and see. So that was my Unearthly purchase. And then I have 2 more purchases to go over with you. I'm going to talk about this one next and save my most exciting one for last. This is a Dolce & Gabbana palette. This I purchased maybe in like October, November. I've mentioned this a few times on my channel, but one of the credit cards that I have, one of their perks is you get a $50 Saks Fifth Avenue credit every 6 months. And I usually spend that on something that maybe I wouldn't necessarily purchase, like a little bit more of a luxury splurge beauty item for myself. So this is what I bought with that credit. And it is, they came out with 3 different ones of this. Like, look how beautiful this is. It's part of their Devotion line. It's very reflective. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't reflect. But this is raised. It feels very luxury. Like, this is metal. The component part is plastic, but it still feels pretty heavy and just weighted. So there were 3 different colorways, and I got the shade the colorway 02 Rose Goddess. I actually wanted more of the brown colorway, but that one was sold out. So I ended up choosing this one, which is just kind of like those pinky tones. I know this is not like a color story that's super unique, especially in my collection, but I liked it for the packaging. And like I said, with that credit, I kind of splurge and maybe get something that I don't necessarily need, but kind of have been eyeing and just want. So that's what I ended up getting with that credit. And then the very last thing that I got, and one of the things I am so excited about, I finally this year took the plunge and purchased the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 5, 6, 7 palette. This is going to be my first Danessa Myricks palette. I have not tried their eyeshadows at all. I did really love the concept of the Volume 6, but I ended up skipping on that one because it was very expensive and I didn't love all of the shades in that palette. I really wish that she sold them as individual 6 pans because there were a few of them that I liked, but I just couldn't justify it for the price. So we've all seen this by now. I mean, this has been all over the internet, but with the addition of the mattes, with the addition of just like some more neutral shimmers, I decided to splurge and get this one. I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited. I could see myself using every single shade except for maybe like the silver. Silver's not my favorite, but I just wouldn't wear that all over the lid. The rest of these though, even the blues, super excited for. It was packaged so beautifully, so nicely. I feel like I'm on a whole different level of luxury with this palette. I feel I like leveled up almost in my luxury game. So feeling very grateful to have this palette and I'm very excited to use it. Now, that was everything that I purchased before that had came to me this month. So let me clear off my desk because there was so much and we will go over my empties. So I don't necessarily have a ton of empties to talk about today, but I have some like big bulky ones. So let's just get those out of the way. A lot of it is hair care. So I finally finished this Briogeo's. This is the Superfood Mango and Cherry Balancing Conditioner. This took me quite a long time to finish. It was nice. I don't hate it. I still have the shampoo left to finish. I have like this much left, but I didn't finish them at the same time or within the same month, but I definitely want to throw this away. So I'm going to talk about it now. And then a hair mask that I have is the Verb Ghost Hair Mask. I actually really liked this, especially because I replaced it with another deep conditioning mask that's in my shower now. And I don't like that as much as I like this. Verb is a brand I really want to explore more. I have a ton of Verb products actually in like my backups of hair care. So I want to try and like see what products I like from them. This is really nice, would repurchase. It's like 20 bucks. And I thought it was really nice. I have nothing else to say other than that. This dry shampoo, I don't know. I should have looked it up beforehand. Ouidad, is that how you say this brand? This is the Clean Sweep Moisturizing Dry Shampoo. This is specifically a dry shampoo for curly hair, which I find very interesting. I do have like natural wave to my hair. You can see like I kind of blow dried it straight and it's still like the ends are flipping. I don't know how to fix that. Like I use the little Revlon brush and I don't curl under, like when I'm using that brush, I don't curl it under, but my ends like always flip. If you know how to fix that, let me know. I could just use like my actual straightener, but then I'd have to use 2 heating products. I'm a little bit lazy. I don't know. I just don't like it when it flips like this because I feel like I look like Miss Honey from Matilda or something like that. I don't know. But I'm going to leave it. Anyways, back to this. I don't necessarily see how this is for curly hair specifically. It was a fine dry shampoo, just trying to get through my stash. And in order to get through my stash, I need to actually use my hair care products. So I did that. It was okay. It's fine. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I don't have any more hair care. We'll wait on makeup. Let's go to skincare. and body care. So I have a few minis here. This is the Strevectin Anti-Wrinkle SD Advanced Intensive Moisturizing Concentrate. It's just a moisturizer. It was good. I like Strevectin products a lot actually, but they're just a little bit too out of my budget to want to purchase from. And I have my tried and true moisturizers that I want to go to once I finish what's in my backup drawers. So I won't be repurchasing this. This was a cleanser. This is the Badescu Enzyme Cleansing Gel. This was 1 fluid ounce, so it took me a little bit of time to use. This was actually nice. I don't love a gel cleanser, but I got through it, and I actually didn't hate this one, especially for being Badescu. I don't necessarily always love their products, but I had no complaints about this. If I had this again, like in a free sample bag, I would use it and I would enjoy it. Next, I have the Elemis Superfood AHA Glow Cleansing Butter. I do prefer a cleansing butter over a cleansing oil, but I don't like these types of products when they have AHA or any kind of exfoliating properties. I just feel like because I'm using an actual exfoliant, then I have to be careful not to pair that with this, because then it's just too much for my skin, too much like chemical exfoliating. So I would rather like buy a cleansing butter that just doesn't have this, where I don't have to worry about it. I kind of just think that like brands feel like the more things they add, the more, trigger words they add, the more like people are willing to purchase them. But for me, like I would just rather have a cleansing butter. That's it. Some skincare that came like these single-use things. I have 2 of them. I'm really dedicated to trying to get back into the rhythm of like using things in my backups. I've been slacking a little bit with my skincare specifically. So one was a sheet mask. This is the Lancome Advanced Genefique Hydrogel Melting Mask. I've talked about these before, and these are really, really nice masks. I think they're like $20 a piece. I paid $10 for them. I'd maybe splurge sometimes, but they are really, really nice. I notice a difference when I use these masks. It's not just like, oh, let me use a sheet mask and like feel like I'm pampering myself. Like I actually tell a difference when I'm using these. I like them a lot. I just find them to be quite pricey. And then the next one I have is the Skin Iceland Dissolving Microneedle Eye Patch. These are really nice. You use them like about once a week. You wear them overnight, and I do see a difference in my under eyes when I wear these. I just have so many of these like in backup because they would go half off at Ulta often, and then I would just like throw them in my cart, and now I have way, way too many, and I don't use them every week. I'm trying to get back into that, but this is something that I would keep and use in my routine. Just I don't need to have like 50 of them in backup. The last body care item that I have, sorry for that loud noise, it's a metal tin, before we get into makeup, is this empty lotion. So I talked about this in my purchases and empties not that long ago. This is the Nivea cream, and it was just a lotion, like a tinned lotion. It was very, very thick, very thick. Like it was a cream. It kind of reminded me of the consistency and texture of diaper cream if you ever have used that. It just took forever to like rub into the skin and was so white. Very moisturizing, like have no complaints, would repurchase this. Here in Europe, this is like $2.50 for this container. I've seen this on Amazon in America for $10, so it's a steal here. Would repurchase it. I did not repurchase it because when I went into the store, actually, once I finished this to buy another one, they didn't have it. So I ended up purchasing another lotion that we'll talk about soon. But I'm happy with my lotion progress because I'm finally at the stage, unlike hair care, where I'm 1 in, 1 out. So once I start getting low on that lotion, I go get another one, get it back up, finish it, and then crack into the new one, which is how I would like my life to be a little bit. And then we have makeup. So let's start with the ones that aren't really spoilers. If you've been following my channel, if you follow my Project Pan, these were both in my Project Pan and I finished them up. So the first one being the Valentino foundation. I have the shade, what shade do I have? LN4, I'm pretty sure. Fully use this up. I mean, I took the top off, scraped it, everything. I mean, this is finished. And I love this foundation. A really, really great luxury foundation if you're wanting an everyday light to medium coverage, looks natural on the skin, hydrating but not glowy, transfer proof, doesn't break apart. I find this to be a really nice one. It's just dependent on if you want to spend luxury prices or not. But if you're looking for one, really, really recommend this one. And then my primer that I finished, this was the Elemis Superfood Glow Priming Moisturizer. I must have gotten this for free at some point because I never would have purchased a product like this. It's 2 fluid ounces and it took me a long time to finish this, but I finally did. It's kind of just like your typical glowy priming moisturizer. No different, not the same. I'm using the Auric one right now in my Shop My Stash. This is a little bit thinner, I would say, a little bit less glowy, more moisturizing, but that's about it. Not my kind of product, so I don't want to say that like I hated it because it just wasn't geared towards what I like in my makeup routine, but you know, like it's just not my product. I didn't think it was bad by the time I was using it. Like I didn't hate pan it or anything. It's just not my type of product. Let's talk about some minis. I have 4 little minis to go over here. So I have the Urban Decay All Nighter, just a mini. How big is this? I don't know. It is half a fluid ounce. Took me no time to use this up. So this is done. I still have a full size all nighter to finish. I have a mini mascara. This is the Bite Upswing. This didn't take me very long to finish. A lot of the times minis will take me like 3 months to finish, but because this is a Bite mascara and Bite is no longer a brand, it was pretty dried out by the time I cracked into it and lasted me like less than a month. I just have such a big backup of mascaras that I'm trying to get through before I purchase another one. And this is the reason why you shouldn't do that, because this was pretty almost done, pretty much done by the time I went to even use it. 2 more minis, another little primer here. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance Base. It was 0.2 fluid ounces, barely any product. Finally got this out. I'm trying very, very hard to get my primer collection down to like maybe 5, ideally 3, but like when I get to 5, I will be celebrating. So that one is done. And then a little mini lipstick that I finished. Very excited about this. This was from Givenchy. I bought it during holiday one year. It came with this one and then a black one. I could not tell you how much product was in this, but it was one of those like pH changing pink ones. You can kind of see it, see the color here. Completely dug it out. Once it got flat, I dug it out and used the rest of this. It was okay. Would I repurchase this? Absolutely not. I really actually don't like these pH changing lipsticks, but I'm trying to use them up and get them out of my collection, and I will never repurchase one ever again. And then my very last empty, one of my most exciting ones, because this took some dedication to finish. This is a YSL, I don't know if this is a lip gloss or what it is. It's called like the Volupte Rouge, I want to say. Volupte lip gloss in pink. Very interesting formula. I took the doe foot out and everything, really scraped around this. I really like this actually. I can still swatch it. It's kind of like this filling, really flattering on the lips. Like it has something in it that kind of just fills your lips and makes it look very flattering. I love the smell of YSL lip products. They smell like watermelon, which is my favorite. And I had a good time using this. It's just, this is one of the oldest things in my lipstick collection. It was time to get it out. And I was just blown away by how long this took me to use, because it really did. Like I took the stopper out and it was just coated in product. I would put it on all the time thinking I was close to being finished with it, and I just wasn't. Finally, I decided like I got most of it out. Like that used to be filled with color. So I'm pretty sure that I've scraped most of it out, and I'm comfortable calling it an empty by now because I put the work in on this. I wish I could repurchase this. I actually would repurchase it if I could, but they don't make this formula anymore. So that's too bad. And that was all of the things that I finished in November. So now we can talk about the items that I actually purchased in November, which is going to be much, much shorter. thankfully. I have been making better choices. Yes, I have in the month of November with my purchasing decisions, and I haven't purchased that much. So let's go over it. Replace my lotion. This is the one that I ended up choosing. This is from a French brand called Petit Marseilles, and it's kind of like a really common drugstore-ish lotion, and I thought I would try it. I really like their body wash, so I thought, why not try the lotion? It's in the scent almond. It's supposed to be hydrating. Smells really nice. It's a lot thinner than the Nivea, like much, much thinner, but we'll see how I like it. I can tell that I kind of like the Nivea more if you really, really need some hydration, but I'll get through it and that's fine. So I bought that. And then the only makeup purchase that I made in November was something that I probably shouldn't have purchased, but I did. And it's okay because I only have one makeup purchase. So that's improvement. But I ended up seeing the Dolce Gabbana palette that I wanted, the colorway that I wanted, on sale during Black Friday for 30% off. So I ended up picking up the color that I wanted, which was Amber Venus 01. The third color that they had was like this grayscale, cool toned kind of smoky palette. So this is actually the palette that I'm wearing today, and it's nothing special. It's just some browns, but I really wanted this and it was 30% off. So I purchased it. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm very happy with this. Love how this look turned out. It is right up my alley because we all know that I love my browns, and I'm happy to have this. I didn't purchase anything for Black Friday, at least no makeup stuff, and very minimal, just like other things. Like I purchased a handbag that I've been looking for, a very specific handbag for a few months now. And then I finally just happened to find the exact kind of bag that I wanted. So I purchased that, but it had no effect on like Black Friday. I don't even think it was on sale. It wasn't on sale. So I didn't even get any kind of discount on it. It's just one that I'd been really, every time I was in a store looking for something very specific, and finally found it. And that's all the shopping that I did. So I'm really happy with where I'm ending. I am about to film like my 2025 purchases pretty soon because that is coming up end of December or so, but I don't think I'll be purchasing anything for December. So that is really exciting to me. We've had some ups and downs this year. We've had some high moments and some low moments as far as my purchasing, but with my empties, you know, slow and steady, like I'm getting through things. It's just a matter of reminding myself constantly to actually like use the things that I have and take advantage. Like I have 5 leave-in conditioners, and some like in my backup drawers, like just put the leave-in conditioner after I take a shower, and don't be lazy and actually use it. And it's helping a little bit. And eventually I will make up and get through all of those products, and I won't be making the same mistake again. But that is my purchases and empties for the month of November. Let me know down below if you are also kind of in the same boat as me, where you're trying to rectify the purchases that you've made in the past, where you just like hoard, which is what I did, or if you're not like me and you make much better budgeting decisions. I'd love to know both, because if you are a budgeter, like, I pat you on the back. I really, really do. After that, though, this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.